Welcome to Warcraft Reloaded, a podcast brought to you by Mash Those Buttons, covering World of Warcraft Classic and its community. I'm Bobby, also known as Blazzinbob, and today I'm joined by Kef, aka Kef.
Hello, good to be here for the final hurrah.
Welcome, Kef. Welcome, Kef. Best rogue tank in SOD history.
By far.
Confirmed. Not even kidding. Literally confirmed. We did every hard mode, everything. This man was the shit. And we have Buck, aka Buktastic. How you doing, brother?
Fantastic. Long day today, but looking forward to hanging out with you guys for a while.
Yeah. Looking forward to it too. I've been dreading doing this for a long time, and you guys pushed me towards it and got me to do it. Oh, hey, speaking
already
of
a comment about
Mega Man is here. Mega Man is here. Welcome to the show, Mega Man. All right, guys, we are streaming live on YouTube, Twitter, or X, and Twitch. So all of your comments will come into our same spot. We have upgraded since the last time I did this show, but yeah, we're gonna be doing this episode here. I don't even know how to explain it. It's gonna be kind of a homage to the podcast and like what we did over the years, and it's also gonna be letting you know what will bring this show back. There is a possibility the show comes back, but that's all on Blizzard. But we'll tell you what needs to happen in the show for that to come back. But yeah, oh man, I haven't done this show in a while. I've been doing a lot of Chiefs content and growing that brand, and it's been a good time. But we're here now. And I didn't bring any WoW content creators because this isn't like we haven't caught up on WoW Classic. This isn't going to be about what's going on in WoW Classic. I know SOD is ending, and I know Mists of Pandaria Classic. Are you serious? Is coming out, but we're not going to be talking about that. We're just going to be talking about the show and what's like. This show was great, so we're going to be talking about that. But I brought on my two other podcast hosts from other shows. So first off, Kef is on We Are Survivors with me, and we just ended our first season of our second season of the show, and yeah, the show The Last of Us, and it's we're hopeful for the future, but I don't know, Kef, do you want to just say a real quick thing about that podcast and like what we've done with it? Because you joined after we did the whole game. Part of it.
Yeah. And I enjoyed listening to your guys' experience playing through those games, and I was excited to join for the show. And I think we all kind of, mostly liked season 1, and then season 2. I think we're, if you want to hear us groan and cry, listen to season 2, but there's some hope in there too. I think we're all just very passionate about that series and the way that.
Why does Abby not look like a man?
I mean, I don't care that much about that, but.
So I was talking to a guy.
John does, though.
I was talking to a guy at work today. I was telling him that you do a podcast about The Last of Us, and he goes, well, what do they talk about? I'm like, well, they talked about the game for a while. Now they talk about the show. And do you guys do it weekly or is it bi-weekly?
Oh, we're doing it weekly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing it weekly. Now we're, done because the season is finished, so it won't pick back up until season 3 of the show comes out.
All right.
Yep.
But yeah, I told him, I was like, there's a big following. I mean, it's a really cool concept. I watched a little bit of it, but I like the whole spores taking over instead of like, just the typical zombie apocalypse.
Well, spores was a big topic for us in season 2 here because they didn't do spores in season 1 for reasons. And then they did do spores in season 2 for reasons.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Got me
Hollywood, always up to no good. Yep. But yeah, we've been doing that. We're hopeful for. I feel like they have a lot for Last of Us. I feel like they have a lot that they could do coming up. In this next season, they could really, really do a lot. So we'll just have to see, because that's what Last of Us 2, the game, did. A lot of people wrote it off right after Joel died and didn't play it through. But if you did, you were pleasantly surprised at the outcome of the game, and it all changed in, basically where we're at in the show. I just don't know that anybody's going to keep watching the show and give
you
it that
guys will.
chance. We will, but I just don't know that everybody else will. But also joining me, my other host from my other show, Buck and Bob take on Chiefs Kingdom. Do you want to tell the audience about that show? Guys, we are going to talk about Warcraft, but I just want to get the intros out here so you understand why we have these guests.
Yeah, so we do a football podcast about the Kansas City Chiefs specifically. We are a fan podcast, watching as fans, and we give our take on things, whether it be good or bad. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but very rewarding.
We aren't fancy analysts, right?
Right. We're not fancy analysts, but we have just as many bad takes.
Yeah. You got to interview some players or ex-players, right?
Yeah.
We're pretty good friends with Tamba Ali at this point.
Yeah. If anybody knows me and Warcraft Reloaded, I like to make friends, and somehow I lucked into making friends with the Chiefs Legends group, and we've had some pretty big guests on the show already. And I mean, you guys should know that, that's what this show was built on. Basically, after episode 100, it started out a different show, but it became basically, a guest show where guests would come on, and they were the ones that made the show. It was never me, and everybody listening to this knows that, So it was my ability to bring on awesome guests that made this show wonderful. So don't even think that I don't know that. But yeah, I've been really putting a lot of time in the Chiefs podcast. I've been learning a lot about YouTube. What sucks is that if you check out our Chiefs channel now, you can check it out at buckandbob.com, BUKNBOB.com. I've actually finally started to make legit YouTube videos, not good ones. I'm not saying they're good. I'm proud of one of them.
They're getting better. They're
getting better. And I wish I would have had the balls to do it when I was doing this podcast, and I wish I would have had the balls to do it for Warcraft content. And if Classic Plus comes out, I will be ready this time to make some badass videos.
So Crosslane says, I've listened to your football pod after you abandoned Warcraft Reloaded. You guys are Chiefs homers through and through. Absolutely. I mean, that's what the podcast is.
Yeah, true.
So next season, you should try to hook up with your opponent's pod hosts before each game. That's a great idea.
Working on that. I am already working on that. Yeah, for each. So basically, I want to try to find a content creator for the pre-show episodes that's doing bills or doing I've definitely, I think that'll be an amazing
This
touch.
was a Philly fan. Well, thanks for listening. I mean, we really appreciate it.
But hey, and dude,
and not blasting us when you
Philly,
came on here.
and hey, guys, we are like, I'm not a fan of the tush push, but you guys are badass at it, and I don't want everybody to start doing the tush push. I think what you guys have done is awesome. So don't get me wrong. I just don't want everybody in the NFL to do it. They are going to do it now, but in 5 years, if it's still there, it's going to be basically the fourth down play that every team does. And that's what I don't want. But you guys kicked our ass in the Super Bowl.
Wasn't even close.
Hats off to you. I hate your coach, but he's one hell of a good coach. And yeah, you guys deserve your win. There's no we're not going to say, oh, refs this, refs that. We don't do that. You kicked ass. Well done.
You need a quarterback that squats 600 pounds to run it. That's the God's honest truth.
Yep. And
Jalen Hurts from the
two guys
that
squat just as much, hitting each cheek, right? You know what I mean? Like Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce on New Heights were the best because Travis was giving him shit. He was like, you single-handedly saved the tush push, and Jason's trying to like blow it off, and he's like, well, we would still be good at it, even if you couldn't push the tush, like we would still be great at the quarterback sneak. And he was like, yeah. He's like, it's all about that first thrust, and he goes, yeah, and then with the tush push, it's about that second thrust. And Travis was just getting on his ass. It was hilarious. It was great. But yeah, dude, Eagles deserve every bit of credit. You guys worked for it. You guys came to play, and you guys freaking kicked ass.
But we watched every minute of it.
Yeah.
We didn't miss a single second of the game.
And I have unfortunately watched it 2 times after that too, which is rough. Which is very rough.
I was done.
All right. Well, let's talk about some World of Warcraft. So SOD's coming to an end. Okay, I thought I was gonna keep up with Countdown to Classic, but I haven't kept up with it. While I've been I kept up with it for the first month after I stopped doing the show, and then I kind of just I don't care about MOP. I really don't care about MOP. I really don't care about Kata. Dude, basically Warcraft Reloaded was supposed to end when Wrath ended. That was what was supposed to happen. We were going to BlizzCon, and we're like, hey, this is going to be our last hurrah, because we made a ton of friends over the years, and just real friends. I've made way more friends than I've made. I have made. There are people that are bad actors in the space that will literally just leech onto you for clout. And I did meet some of those people, and that sucked. Because I thought they were my real friends. I'm not going to name names, but it's there were some bad guys, but people I shouldn't name all the good names because there's just too many. But Sarth, Winky, these are true lifelong buddies that I'm going to hang out with even after doing content and stuff. But then there were people that really pretended to be your friend, and then one bad thing happens and they won't talk to you at all. But yeah, so we were going to do BlizzCon and then quit. We were basically going to end the show when Kata came out. But we go to BlizzCon, and they're like, have you ever wanted to have a warlock tank? Have you ever wanted to have a rogue tank? have you ever wanted to heal as a mage? And we're like, what the fuck? Yeah, okay. And then I'm sitting next to like all these other creators that are freaking out. And I'm like, oh, dude, Warcraft Reloaded just got some legs here. And then, yeah, so that saved it. And that's what was going to keep us. Oh, yeah, Zim, BlizzCon will definitely be coming regardless of if the pod is started back up. But announcements at BlizzCon 2026 could, change that maybe here in the thumbnail to for sure. Oh, I guess the people on Twitch don't know. People on Twitch and X, the thumb says episode 231 and maybe done. So we're not for sure done, but I wanted to update everybody because I've had so many people message me, so many different comments, just a lot. And like, I'm sorry I didn't answer you guys back, but this episode is basically to answer you back. Like, if Classic Plus comes back big, like, and it's a real Classic Plus, we're definitely coming back. But for right now, it's going to be on hiatus after this episode. But where was I at? Sorry. Where was that?
We were talking about the Super Bowl there, I think.
No,
you were kind of talking about BlizzCon because the show was supposed to end at Wrath, and then SOD was announced.
SOD came out, and then all of a sudden it's just like, whoa. And then it just opened up, like, there were a whole bunch of creators that like dropped out, right? And this show was all about having different creators on. So then it opened up a whole new, list of WoW Classic creators that were up and coming that we could have on, like Hello J Tello, the changed version of No Hit Jerome. Like, because No Hit Jerome in the beginning of Classic WoW was a villain with 40 mages that wiped raids with full world buffs on their way to BWL. That was what he did. And it took him a long time to work back from that hated character. Like, it took him a long time. But we got to know the new No Hit Jerome. And then there was Kago. Good morning, evening, or afternoon. This is Kago coming to you. Like, we got to meet him, and we got to meet oh my gosh, I'm blanking on his name, starts with an E. Oh my gosh, he's very articulate about Eben. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I feel like a jerk. Sorry, Ebonheart. I saw your face. I know faces. Saw your face. But it has been like 4 months since I've done a podcast about WoW, so give me a break. But yeah, we got to meet new creators that came up just because of SOD. And that was cool. Like, it's just cool getting all these different, opinions. And that's basically what like brought me back. And then I'd like to hear, like, we'll talk about some of the stuff early on. Who got that one? That was great.
What, the crickets?
Yep.
That was my alarm, actually. My bad.
So Kef and Buck, both. So I actually got to know Kef. Kef was a fan of the show for a long time, but I got to know Kef in SOD. So Kef, you want to give a little story about that? Like, that would be kind of interesting.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we didn't start playing together till SOD because none of my like guildies from Wrath or anything ever like crossed over. So I was in new territory, and like I knew you were playing on that server, so I was just like, "Yo, what's up?" And like we had chatted a few times on Discord, so you got me like a guest invite into Swamp. And then I remember I just did a Black Fathom Deeps with you guys, and I was like watching your Twitch, and you guys were talking about like, can we trust this guy? And then I just typed in a raid chat like, yeah, you can trust me. And like, oh my god, he's listening. So and then I just
I always feel
snuck my
that.
way in.
Well, I mean, but you did it the right way. A lot of fans will try to jump in, and they'll just it's weird because they do know you if you don't play a character on your podcast. Like they do know you, but you don't know them. But they feel like you should know them a lot of times. I've run into a lot of fans like that. So we've always been very, we learned our lesson. Me and Yip early on in the podcast learned our lesson about that, and so very hesitant to like team up with fans of the podcast, like literally to get into our to our guild. You don't mention fan of the podcast, like so, yeah. Like that's just like you just don't do that because we're gonna be like, okay, nope. But
I was very conscious of like trying to not be like creepy or anything like that. And like, I feel like we had been, I'd talked to you in your stream before. So it wasn't like, hey, what's up? I listened to the pod let me get that G invite.
Yep. And you did it the right way. Like you understood, you said, hey, I'd really like a raid spot, but I know you guys have a lot of rogues, like maybe I could take. And I was like, oh, you're gonna take? Okay.
Yeah, that was one way to get into groups, to be willing to tank, and rogue tank was a lot of fun. And it was not fun in phase 1 and 2 actually, but I did it. And then it got really fun in BWL right around the time that I got that job change and had to just quit.
Well, and that gave us time to get to know you. And then we liked you at that point, right? Like, whereas, like a lot of people are like, why can't you get me in? It's just like, we can't, dude. Like, there's not room for DPS. Like, and I don't know you. You know me, but I don't know you, but you did it slow and steady. And, honestly, like, there was a lot of people that tried to do what you did, but did not make the cut. So, you were definitely a outlier there. So that was it. That was interesting. And then Buck, I've known for what, 25 years? Is that right?
Almost 25 years. Yeah.
Yep. But Buck was a different situation. Buck, you want to tell him we also connected in SOD after we hadn't really, hung out for like the last 6 years prior to that. Yeah, like, but you came to Colorado, we had lunch, but it wasn't like we hung out all the time. But in the years past, like there's been stints where we hung out constantly, so.
Yeah, and we had played Warcraft like way back in the original. You bought me a copy and we were all playing, and I had this character named Crispix. And my father passed away in December of 23, and I was just looking for anything to get my mind off of it. And Max, my youngest brother, had just started playing SOD, and I'm pretty sure it was him that got me in. And I was like, oh, well, is Bob playing? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, you know what, man, I'm going to start just a quick 30-day, do the 30-day free trial. Pop in there as Crispix. I made my character name, and then I sent you a message, and I was like, yo, and you're like, yeah. And I'm like, look at my name, and you're like, who's this? And I'm like, it's Crispix.
I did not remember Crispix.
I was like, you guys were going to start a guild called the Serial Killers, spelled like breakfast cereal, and we were all going to have cereal names, right?
Yep.
I wanted Count Chocula. I
was going to be Fruit Loops. Yep,
right. You were going to be Fruit Loops. Your brother was going to be Count Chocula, I think. So you guys took all the cool ones and you never made it. And I was stuck with fucking Crispix for years. But yeah. So then I started playing, and I mean, you got me in Swamp probably within a couple of days. And yeah, man, it was just a lot of fun playing. Now I was also a rogue, and I was never gonna tank. I tried tanking, and it just wasn't my cup of tea, man.
Dude,
I was really
tanking
just
is
there
tough.
for
It's tough.
I was there for just the hang out with my friends thing. And, I mean, there was a time when it just got too much and I wasn't able to make like 1 or 2 raids. And then I was just out. And that was fine because I still had time to play with you guys on the side. So,
Well, and that's part of what kind of burnt me out. If anybody listened to the podcast from the start, I said multiple times at the start of the podcast, I'll never lead a guild again. I'll never lead a raid again. This is what burnt me out back in the day. And then SOD came out and they slow burned fucked me. Like they slow burned tricked me. And that's the problem. It was 10-man raids at level 25, and Max, Buck's brother Buck had come back. Like I was in a bunch of different raids with my different people. Mel was in with just her one character, but Max, Buck, Bayman,
Michael's son.
Yep, Michael's son, and there was one other one, right?
Was Herb playing that?
No, I don't think it was Herb. I thought there was one other person, but basically we pugged it. I pugged the first raid with them one night, and it was horrible. I mean, it was actually the worst. Like, you can go back and listen to that episode. It was one of the worst experiences of my life. It was like a 5-hour Black Fathom Deeps. And I was like, I ain't doing that again. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna talk to Bobka, and I'm gonna become a raid leader in Swamp so I could just run this one 10-man raid. So that's what I did, and it was great. We ran a great raid, but then the other raid that I was in, the Beer League, Winky's raid, Winky just disappeared. Love him to death, but he disappears. That's what he does. And Winky disappeared, and there were still a lot of people that wanted to do that raid. So I was like, oh, I guess I can run this raid too. So then I was running 2 10-man raids, and then
with no intention to do any of it.
Yeah. And then we went on, we went on to the next raid. I kept doing it. I had different people help me out, what was his name? The guy that ran it was real pushy.
Oh,
I remember now.
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but he did but either way, he was good until he wasn't. And then basically he just yelled at people way too much instead of explaining. And then it just came back and I was running it again. Oh, and then we went to the next phase. And I should have just said, okay, I'm done. But nope. We moved on to 20-man raids. And then it was that raid was tough. Sunken Temple was tough. And all of a sudden, I'm doing real work. And then luckily, Kill 9 came along and he took over the job that I can't remember guy's name. Did prior, and he would raid lead, which made it so I could set up the raids, I could do the loot, but he was actually raid leading, and that helped me. I led the raid, when he couldn't come, but I would have lost sanity a lot earlier if it hadn't been for Kill 9. And then Lubes jumped in, helped. Helped with raid leading and stuff too. And I had a lot of help, and that was good. But
You did some too, didn't you, Kef?
I mean, just tank call outs
That's it.
Yeah.
for the most part. Yeah, and marking shit.
Yeah, but the like what Lubes and Kill Knight did was more like the making sure everybody is doing the proper buffs, making sure everybody's doing, their proper debuffs, making sure everybody has like it's a tough job. And like I was already doing the tough job of like messaging people constantly to make sure they were going to be there, to make sure we had all the buffs and had all the debuffs and had all, it was rough. And it basically just killed me, man. Like, and then
But you do that to yourself though. Like you say that you don't want to lead, but you just naturally start doing it because
no
you
one
don't.
else will.
Well,
Yeah.
everybody. So this is. So I've known Bob for 25 years, and this is what he did. We would all go over. We had the Madden League, and this was before online gameplay. So we would all go over to Bob's house. We had to be there every 3 days to play our week game, and we
They
were
would come at
always
different times. 'Cause
yeah.
Sometimes they would play the CPU teams because it was like 14 real people, and then then the
12
other 30, like the rest of the
whatever,
32
yeah,
teams were like
18 teams.
CPU teams.
Mhm. So we would all get together, but he also I gave him a ping pong table at one point, so there's a ping pong table at his house. But everybody was always at Bob's. He was always he enjoyed being that, and it just kind of naturally happens to him. Like he just kind of stumbles into it. Like
I
he
bring
says,
other friends together too.
yeah, you like to have your party of people with you, and if that means getting a raid together, so now you're going to see them at least once a week and talk to them, that's a good time for you. You don't necessarily think about all that hard work you're going to have to do ahead of time. You're just like, ooh, I get to play with my friends, and and that's how it starts.
But I mean,
that's the
loved
progression for you.
like I also loved, back in the day, like when I had the party house, I loved the fact that I would bring new people together and they would become friends that they wouldn't have been prior. Like you did not like Johnny B, but you came over to my house a lot and Johnny B was there and you
I did not understand
friends.
What the hell is what's wrong with this guy? But
and that happened with a lot of different people, and it actually happened with this show. Like I introduced a lot of different creators to other creators, and they branched off and made their own friendships like outside of me, and like that makes me feel good. Like that makes me feel like it's just always what I've wanted to do, even back when it was on, back then. So I don't know. It's just what I do.
Mm-hmm.
You were destined to run that raid group, Bob.
Yeah. Well,
those raid groups.
What happened is that, you see,
and I just wanted to do PvP the whole time.
Well, and I had gotten warning from my Harshkar, the guy that ran my guild all through Classic prior to Sod. I got warning from him that bringing groups of friends in was not a good idea, because when one quits, usually the whole group quits, which then means you're out 4 spots instead of 1 spot, And I did that with a few different friend groups, and that kind of bit me in the ass too throughout Sod, where one would quit, and then the other would be like, "Yeah, I'm done. Yeah, I'm done." It didn't always happen that way. I remember Hammer Dance and Cheese Bag, like one of their buddies left. They were like a 3-man group, and I was like, "Are you guys leaving too? You guys are totally leaving?" And they didn't. They abstained. But then, then the big one hit, and so many people quit. The big one. What is the big one that makes everybody quit Classic WoW? Every
Classic
private
Crush?
server that's ever existed, the original Classic WoW. What is the spot where everybody quits? Cheesebag got it.
Oh God, yeah. Well, we didn't even make it there, man. Did you make it there? I quit
Oh
before
yeah.
that.
No, you quit. No, you didn't. Did you?
My last raid was a BWL.
Okay, yeah. You quit right before AQ, which literally is just like totally, helps my own point here. Yeah. And then Hammer Dance was like, nope. And Hammer Dance and Cheese Bag came for the first AQ. So did I. So basically you quit at BWL. And then I was like, dude, and then Michael quit. Michael Sod. Buck was no longer in. Like literally everybody that I had created this raid group for was gone. And I was just like, oh, I'm spending all my time just coordinating this group. And I was just like, I can't do it. So we decided, I was like, hey, if anybody wants to take it over, you can. And then, oh, what was his name? Dang it. I'm so bad with names, guys. I'm so sorry.
Didn't Ven take it over? Or no, was it
No.
Hellbjorn or was it Gribble?
Gribble.
Gribble Jones.
Yep. Yeah. No, Ven took over Swamp and I think did good from what I understand. But yeah, Gribble bit off more than he could chew.
He was a CIA secret agent.
Yeah, he no,
What?
that you're talking about Ven. But
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Gribble, like I tried to warn him how tough it was gonna be, but he was very confident that he was gonna be fine. And I tried to be like, hey, you're not gonna be fine. Do you want me to tell you some stuff? He's like, no, I got it. I was like, all right. So I stayed in. I was gonna stay in and just follow, but the raid just fell apart. And Lubes tried to help, but it was bad. And it wasn't just Gribble's fault. Like Gribble might have made it. Like he might have been able to do it, but AQ released with a ton of bugs. And
Yeah, literally.
a ton of bugs. Absurd amount of bugs. And it's not okay. Like it's not okay. It's not okay. Like
That's the
entirety of SOD, like
It is
guys,
what it is.
no, it's not what it is. No, it's not. Like I love Grand. I love Zyrene. I am a Blizzard apologist. But there is no fucking excuse for the amount of bugs we had at every fucking raid. No excuse whatsoever. And AQ, when the poison boss, that was our first raid. The poison boss was bugged and super poisoning. I forget exactly what the mechanic was that it was doing, but I was just fed the fuck up. And I was just like, this has been every fucking raid.
Yes,
Except for the first fucking raid, which was a fucking baby dungeon. Like, and so I was just fed the fuck up and I was just like, dude, I'm fucking done. And I'm like, I am just fucking done. And that's the day that I quit. And that was the last stream, I'm pretty sure, that I had since until now. But it was not okay. It was not cool. It was crap. SOD. And then on top of it, this show is about having creators on. And I don't know like who was doing it, but every creator in the WoW Classic atmosphere, except for Sarth, Sarth was a badass. There was a couple others, but every other one was in this fucking echo chamber of, yeah, Sod's bad. Yeah, I haven't played it since, like mid phase 2, and they're in phase 4 now. But yeah, Sod sucks. And she's like, dude, shut up. Like, just say you don't know what Sod is. Like, you have no clue. Like, it drove me nuts, and I was like, I don't even want to have these assholes on the show. Like, I don't want to do this. Like, these idiots are just literally regurgitating what a bigger streamer said about Sod. And it just, I got so angry, and I was just like, fuck this, dude. So that was kind of where I was at.
Watching Simon Eyes, he was a rogue homie through and through, to my understanding.
Okay,
he saw it all the way through.
Yep.
Like,
Simon Eyes
would be so far back without that man.
Yep. Mel. Yeah, Simon Eyes was amazing. Like, Sarth was amazing. Like, people that didn't just like listen to other people's opinions and regurgitate them. That was my problem. And I remember going to what's his name? Mario or Bad Mario or Wow Mario.
Greek Warrior? Greek Wario?
Greek Wario. I remember
Bad
going
Mario?
to I rated him, and then I asked him what he thought about Sod. And he just gave me the same regurgitated answer that everybody else gave, which was bullshit. Wasn't even accurate. I mean, and it just, it blew a fuse in my head. And I was just like, dude, I started this podcast because I love WoW Classic. And I still, to this day, believe Sod was the best of WoW Classic, period. Like, it was the best thing WoW Classic had ever seen.
I think you asked the wrong guy, because to my understanding, Greek Wario is like a vanilla Andy through and through. Like,
loves my gold.
Every time I go on his stream, he's playing a warrior in a vanilla raid and having the time of his life. Well, not really. He doesn't have a lot of expression, but you can tell he's really enjoying it.
And that was my basic problem with most of the WoW Classic creators. What I realized about most of the Classic creators, like Willie's not on this list, and No Hit Jerome's not on this list, and there's a lot of people not on this list, but there's a lot more that are on this list. They didn't know. They weren't people that could learn. They were people that knew one thing, and they rested on that completely. And they were very proud of them knowing one thing. And as soon as Sod shook shit up, they're like, oh, no. And sorry, dude, Sod is not retail. Retail sucks for many reasons, but most of them are not in Sod. Retail sucks because it's cartoon graphics. It's lame. It's gay. Like,
Yeah.
That's the truth. Like, that's what it is. And I'm ending this podcast possibly. So I don't care. I'm gonna call it out. It is lame, kitty little like graphics. When they changed the graphics in Kata, it sucked. Like, sucked ass. Like, so. No. And then it's also all about buying shit on the freaking marketplace. And it's all about these weird mounts. There's a billion mounts that are lame and Buck.
Oh, obvious.
Oh, no. I was waiting for you to do the
what?
Gay.
Oh, okay.
Like, that's basically what it is, dude. It's a Japanese shopping mall of bullshit. Like, that's what retail WoW is. And the storylines got absurd. Like, dude, they literally killed off every masculine character in the game.
They didn't kill Thrall?
Yeah.
I assume. I hope not.
Yeah.
Thrall?
No. He was in the BlizzCon thing, but they killed off most of them and brought in a whole bunch of blue-haired and red-haired, freaking protagonists. And it's just like, where do I see myself? I want my inclusion. I want to
hold on.
see
Didn't the aspects always have the colored hair though, just like in less like cartoony graphics?
Oh man, I'm just saying, Warcraft that I grew up with was like Warcraft for the Horde. This is a game of destruction and killing. This is a masculine game of anger and hatred. Instead, it's like, oh, hey, we're going to go hang out. We're going to go over here. We're going to talk about this. Oh, my gosh. How are your feelings? And I just don't care about your feelings. Like, it's a problem with modern media across Hollywood and everything else, too. But, like, dude, bring Warcraft back to Warcraft. And I will say the trailers, at that BlizzCon looked like retail was going to go back in that direction with Thrall and Anduin, talking. Like, it looked like it could go back to that, but it was pretty lame for a long time. And like, that's like, I don't want to play that game. I want to play the game where it's, scary and, like even the Warcraft movie, like had great masculine, characters. They had, Ragnar, like from freaking Vikings, and like he played it good, like I just don't understand. So yeah, retail sucks for a lot of reasons, but not because of the extra moves they added inside. Sorry. That's where I was kind of going with that, but
okay.
That was a rant.
You just want
Sorry.
the spit emote back, don't you, Bob?
Yes. Why did they remove that? Oh, we can't let people get spit on. Oh, it's so horrible. Oh, what if somebody's feelings get hurt? Oh, we can't have that. Yeah, no. Grow up, be a man. Yep. Toxic masculinity.
What if it's a female playing though? You don't want her to be a man.
Well, then be a tough girl.
She wants to be.
You ever tell Mel be a man?
What was the show? Was it The Magicians? I think it was The Magicians, but the girl in it was great because she would say, "All right, ovary up." But no. I mean, if you're gonna be a badass girl, it depends on what kind of badass girl you want to be. Do you want to be Sarah Connor? Terminator 2?
Yeah,
or
I'm just saying.
You want to be Princess Leia behind the scenes?
Talking about how all the masculine, and I'm down with that. Well, what if it's all of it? Like, what if you get the inclusion that you want? You get the big masculine characters.
Yeah, I just want them back. Yeah, I'm fine with the others.
And they keep you, so you're cool. Like if they keep the purple hair and the blue hair.
Yes.
Hair.
It's just
okay.
Yes, and that's the whole problem with Hollywood right now is they're only focusing on the purple hair.
I just want to say my robe has always had purple hair. Always.
Well, I'm just pointing out.
Bob was always making fun of you behind your back too.
They're only catering to one group. Whereas, like, go ahead and let us have ours too. And it's okay for inclusion. Just don't exclude what was already there before. And masculine males are a huge part of the population. Like, sorry, but not sorry. And I'm not going to change, And so in a fantasy game, I want to see at least a protagonist in the story that resembles me. And so I'm fine with inclusion, but don't exclude me because you're including others. Like, sorry. And include the bigger populations. There's a lot more of me than there are of you. So that's just for sales and marketing reasons basically there but yeah, that's why retail's rough, not because of the moves. Like the moves were so cool, like having every class be able to do so much was so cool. I mean, like there were so many people that wanted, that wanted to be a boomkin, but it was literally stupid in classic WoW. And in SOD, it became cool. Same with Shadow Priest, same with so many other people. Boom.
Bob, take a look at this picture I just put in the StreamYard. It's my character. I made it in classic and I remade it in the new graphics, and look how terrible it looks in the new graphics. Like the tongue sticking out looks, I mean, I don't even have to say anything. Like, just look at the contrast between these two characters.
It's so cartoony, and I don't know why. Like, they had the option. So here, I'm going to leave this on stage. So when they changed the graphics, they had the option to go more realistic, more like hardcore, but they wanted to keep the cartoon graphics because it honestly was the praise of why World of Warcraft kept working instead of other MMOs that had come out. But other MMOs had tried to go too far into realistic. But basically what happened with Blizzard is they went backwards with like super cartoony. And that was the downfall right there. Like, in my humble opinion. This is my opinion. I could be wrong. But yeah, that's what I think happened there. It's kind of like the overcorrection, like they were like, well, the reason we've been popular is because of the cartoony graphics, but they just went full cartoon. You don't go half cartoon. Never go full cartoon. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And that's what happened, in my humble opinion. Guys, remember, this is my opinion. Don't get angry and don't throw.
I do want to say, I mean,
on the internet.
We were bagging on the new picture, but he did have cooler shoulders.
I mean, that's the armor. It's not like the character's face.
It's
like,
more
all
pixels.
Of the rest looked worse. Yeah.
So
the armor does look better.
So it's more pixels, right? Like they could have put more pixels into this and it would have looked, I think, better. Like that's kind of where I'm at.
Raspberry said, why do undead look like their skincare routine?
Exactly. Like that skin is so smooth, like moisturized, and all. Look at that shit.
I know. It's just like
he's not quite undead.
Right. It's not rotting.
Mostly dead.
You're only mostly dead.
Big difference between mostly dead and all dead.
Do you think they have any chance of storming the castle? It'll take a miracle. Inconceivable. Anybody want a peanut?
Hello! You killed my father. Prepare to die.
My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Stop saying that.
I do not envy the headache you wake up with, my friend. Man. But for now, dream of big women.
I've watched that movie easily 200 to 300 times. Easily.
When he comes around the corner, hit him with
a rock.
My way is not very sportsmanlike. I could go on forever too. But yeah, so SOD was freaking awesome. I don't know why that was what kind of like classic WoW turned into once Soda Poppin' came back in. I'll just call a spade a spade. Soda Poppin' was horrible for classic WoW.
What's Soda Poppin'?
Soda Poppin' is one of the biggest streamers on Twitch, not even just like on WoW. He was way bigger than Asmongold before he blew up, and Soda Poppin' came and he made OnlyFans, and literally every little bottom feeder streamer, creator, I want to hang out with Soda Poppin'. And Soda Poppin', I don't think had the greatest ideas. But everybody regurgitated Soda Poppin'.
Is he the one that got the whole raid together to practice Onyxia like in real life? Because I thought that was really funny.
I don't know, because that would be awesome. Yeah, he is okay. Don't get me wrong; he's extremely entertaining.
Yeah, smoking.
He's done a lot, but what he did when Sod was out was extremely catastrophic, and it's not even his fault. Like all these bottom feeder streamers and creators, it's their fault for just like you didn't see Simonize being like, "Oh, Soda, can I hang out with you?" You didn't see Scotty J, "Soda, can I hang out with you?" You didn't see Sarge, "Soda, can I hang out with you?" You saw all the bottom feeders doing it, and all the ones that wanted to get clout. That's what you saw. So it was a bummer because there was a lot of creators that could have been fun in SOD, but literally didn't give it a chance because their overlords said that they couldn't, So that was a bummer there for me.
Soda Poppin' was an overlord?
I mean, he is one of the big overlords. Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
I probably would have kept playing SOD if I didn't get that new job because those set bonuses in Scarlet Enclave look bananas, and I wish I could have check that out. When am I ever going to be a rogue tank again? Maybe never.
Well, and then there's that. Kef. So I didn't play it, right? But like from what I hear, that raid was extremely tough. And
I heard it was tough too.
They're literally doing the ICC bonuses right now, where it's like 5%, then 10%, then 15%. And they're literally doing that right now. I looked at it today, and they actually changed it. It was going to be a 5% bonus every 2 weeks, and they literally hot fixed it today and said that they're going to do it every week. And it's like, guys, did you not get the memo that classic gamers want easy? Did you not get the memo? The memo's been sent dozens of times now. Like they should have learned, and I don't get it. I just don't get it. And I hate to I hate to like shit on the developers of Classic, but they screwed up, dude. They really screwed up. I mean, like Buck, talk about just talk about from phase to phase how much fun you were having and how it changed with each change of the phase in the new raid.
Well, I mean, it went from fun in phase 1 and 2 to it was almost like a part-time job in phase 3 to phase 4. I was just it had way past what I was willing and able to provide, and I was
most people.
Yeah, and I was just glad you guys were still playing on non-raid nights.
Yeah, it's no longer a game in phase 3 and on. Mm-hmm. It's no longer a game. It's now a part of life, like a part of your life that you have to do everything if you want to compete. And yeah, you could pug, but that sucks. Like you could pug, and then half of the people in the raid won't even have their gear set right. Like that's already a problem. Why make the raid extremely hard? Why put in stipulations where they like even Molten Core, like it's just like, why are we doing this thing where everybody has to get fire resist? This is extremely hard. I had to explain it to tons of people how it worked, and it's just like, we didn't need to have this.
Hey, not to change subject here, but Hasty Cake says, "Hey, boys, I'm born and raised from Gladstone, Missouri. That's where my mom and two of my siblings live. Glad to see you repping the best city in the Midwest. Hasty Cakes, you should check out Buck and Bob take on Chiefs Kingdom. It's BUKNBOB, buckandbob.com.
Yep.
See all our videos.
Yep. See our merch. Oh, I should have
We're
worn
growing
merch.
fast. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
my-
But
That fire resist was optional, though. You know, you didn't have to
It-
do Heat 3.
optional. But all the coolest stuff was that it's just
I mean, we did it.
yeah, we did, but it took a lot of work from the officers and me and like people in charge to get that done. It took a lot of work from you. Like, and think if we didn't have a competent tank. Like, and being a tank is hard. It's hard. It was especially hard in Classic.
Well,
And-
there was a time that I remember going through tank woes. We were trying to find a full-time tank that wasn't trying to speed run us through.
Yeah, remember Sand?
And Oprah.
Yep, Sand Medina.
Yep. Oh,
He
yeah.
still
Don't be
won't.
pussy.
He still
Don't
won't
be
talk
pussy.
to me, even though he's the one that the raid was going to break up if I didn't kick him. And he's like, "I can't believe you did that to me." I was like, "Dude, you did it to yourself. What are you talking about?" And he still won't talk to me. And then Oprah. The best was Oprah. Oprah was before BWL. Oprah Winfrey. Like, this guy didn't understand like what a tank is to a raid. I mean, he literally just thought he was the main tank of our raid in phase. What was it, 3 or 2?
Yeah, Sunken Temple.
Yeah, 3. He was the main tank in our raid, and like he was signed up on another raid, and I had to message him 2 days before the raid date. Hey, bro, you're not signed up, because he had multiple characters, so I thought he was just going on a different character to that raid. He's like, "Oh, I don't think I'm going to go with that raid this week," and I was like, "Do you not understand the social contract that you have as a tank? Like, yes, you're allowed to not come, but bro, freaking tell a dude, like, so he can get another tank. It's not like they just grow on trees. Like, tell a dude, like that you're not going to be able to do it, at least 4 days before." It was so funny. It just,
The moment that he signed up for that other raid should have been at least when he
yeah,
said
just
something.
like, "Hey, Bob, you guys, I'm wanting something more hardcore, or I'm wanting something less hardcore." That's all I gotta say. But
Yeah, I was solo tanking the Gnomers by the end of those, but I don't think you could solo tank Sunken Temple, so that's why we needed the second.
well, and it's just, it's just like there were so many of those things. But if it wasn't as difficult as it was, you wouldn't have to have had that. Like, that's where WoW has screwed up from the very beginning, from basically from AQ on through the entire history of WoW. They have messed up. Like, you saw the biggest game ever. Like, and the biggest game ever was Wrath. Like, Wrath. But everybody quit like WoW Classic at AQ. I was there. Everybody left. I remember. Then in TBC, everybody quit at which was the raid? Basically, I think everybody at TBC quit like in the first raid. Like, and then some people stuck around. No, second raids. The one
Serpent Shrine and Tempest
yeah.
Keep.
Yep. Everybody quit then. And then you just had a little bit of people left. And then in Wrath, it was huge. Nax was huge. Nax was easy. It was huge. Then everybody quit after Nax was over. And then every single expansion, everybody quits when the hard raid comes out. You'd think that these college degree people would understand what's going on, but they obviously don't. It's absurd to me. I don't get it. And you thought like they have all this history to look back at, and they still screw it up with classic WoW. I don't get it.
I accidentally quit before AQ in Classic and in SOD, because in Classic, Final Fantasy VII Remake came out, and then like my server like had a limited amount of time to transfer, and then transfers were locked, and I missed the window because I was playing Final Fantasy VII, and then it didn't reopen until like ZG came out or something, or maybe it was Nax. Like I missed AQ completely. And then the job thing, and then vanilla, I'd never made it that far. So I was just never destined to go there.
Yeah, I just don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't agree with it. And maybe you can thank, I've been like giving Sarth praise, right? I've been giving different people praise, but maybe, Sarth was one of the problems, saying that the population wants harder content. They don't. Like, they want to see the big guys go up against the harder content, but they don't want to do it. There's a very small fraction of people that want to do the harder content. And then they get rid of cheat AKPs inside. And that fraction of people, where are they? Fucking gone. All that fraction of people that love that harder content, they out. They might do it with one character, but they ain't doing it with multiple, and how did you not see that coming? It drives me nuts. It's absurd to me that we can't. I don't even know what to say. I mean, honestly, I just don't even know what to say. I mean, it's literally, these are smart people.
I don't mind the hard content. I just don't.
I don't either, but most people do.
Just
because they say they don't doesn't mean that they actually don't. Like, why are you listening to people? Look at the history and the stats. Don't listen to some idiot on Reddit talking shit. Like, don't listen to a content creator that plays games their entire day. Don't do that. Listen to the dad that doesn't play games all day and has, maybe 3 hours every other night to play. Listen to that guy or a gal. Like,
I mean, they gave him a chrono boon. That saves so much time alone instead of having to structure your entire schedule around when buffs are going out.
But that's
and hoping Tiny Violin isn't there.
Literally, China got the world buffs. They got that where they could just get it every hour on the hour. They got it years ago.
At what cost, Bob? At what cost? You want to move to China, Bob?
I'm just saying, they look at the data in China because they can't understand the language. Look at the data in the United States, doofuses. Stop listening to the language. Like, look at the data. Oh my gosh, it just kills me, man. Cassimo, what's up, man? Oh yeah, we should give some shout outs to the chat, guys. Cassimo, what's up? Mega Man, what's up? Hey, this one might be good. Buck, you want to do this one?
Yeah, sympathize. I feel like Classic Plus might come too little too late. WoW Classic, after all, is an aging population, and there is more of us, including myself, who are having IRL friends drop off the game, having kids / jobs, and just can't play so much anymore. For me, at least, WoW isn't really a game I can half-ass or play too casually. Lol.
Yep. And all of the hardcores always say, and dude, guys, I did literally every hardcore thing. The only thing that I did not complete hard mode wise was ICC at full buff. Like, I did not take it down until 10% debuff. And I actually took that down with a GDKP, but I did every hard thing there was to do in WoW Classic through Wrath. I don't think you need to, though. I did it because I didn't have a job. I worked as a content creator. Like, that's the reason that I could do it. And all of you could do it too if you didn't have a job. But we do have jobs. So why don't they make the game for us people for the people that have jobs? A Salut Baton, we were talking about you in pre-show.
Speaking of the
welcome. Yeah, so Salut Baton did all of our graphics right there. Yeah, see it right on the
Thank
cup.
you very much.
Yep. So she did all of our graphics for our new pod, but yeah, it's absurd. I can't even. I don't know. I'm gonna go refill my drink. You guys talk about what you want, and I'll be right back. After these messages, Bob will be right back.
We're going to talk about what we want. Can we go back to the Super Bowl? No. Like, no, that's off the table. There was a time when we had considered going back to play WoW because they had just opened a new hardcore server. And Bob was like, come on, man, think about it. 3 or 4 of us can get on. We'll all do the beginning quest together, and we'll level up together, and it'll be fun. And I had been done for a month or 2 at that point, and I was convinced. And we got on one night, and it was the very first night, and it was taking like 20-30 minutes to do one of the simple quests because there were 100 people out there doing the quests, maybe more.
Yeah.
It was horrible. And the idea was, well, we'll wait a week and we'll try it again. And then it just never formulated. But I think about that sometimes, and that would have been fun.
Well, I froze my WoW account when I got that new job, and I guess I didn't realize that after 6 months it reactivates. So it reactivated like 2 weeks ago. So I was going to get my $15 worth. So I got on and I made a character on the anniversary realm. I got to like level 23, and like it felt like it was taking forever. Like I've done this a million times before, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. And I just quit again.
Well, then you'd have to start with a whole new social
hours
group.
Out of it. Right. There's that too. I don't know anybody playing.
Yeah. That's a lot.
I'll realistically probably pick it back up when they go to TBC Anniversary Realms, because I am a slut for TBC. Never got 2 Warglaves. I've only ever had 1, and I love the arena. So that's probably when I'll be back.
Yeah, see, I'm just not a huge TBC guy.
No, I love it, Bob.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people do. I mean, a lot of people are basically playing the anniversary. It's basically like TBC waiting room, But I'm just like, I thought I loved TBC until TBC came back out.
You played a warlock, Bob. You played a warlock. You didn't play a rogue. You did it wrong. Try again.
That is true. But I played a rogue and a warrior in GDKPs, and I never saw the big numbers as the rogue. I just had to armor pen a lot. Like, and that was basically, yep. Hey, where's our armor pen, bitch? I'm right here. I'm coming. Hey, don't leave me, guys. As a warlock, I was praised. Everyone was like, bow down to the one button man. Bow down. He can hit Shadow Bolt. Oh. He put it down on Shadow Bolt.
Well, you got to click your trinkets too, of course.
And then you also had to deal with the whole who gets to doom and who gets to debuff, and
summon.
Then you have to deal with your whole guild structure. Oh yeah, the summon us. Like, dude, I would get to raid like 15 minutes early to and I'd have to go 15 minutes prior to that to make shards so I get summoned during the raid. But I get to the raid 15 minutes early, then I go AFK, and then I'd come back to Yip being an asshole going, could someone summon them? Bro, we're all fucking AFK, asshole. Like, what the, like, they can get here just as we did 15 fucking minutes early. Like, it's just so, there's so many things in WoW that just make you want to strangle people.
Let's play the rogue, Bob. You don't have to worry about that. Hyjal is really boring, though. Promise you will never be more bored.
Yeah, I know. I did it in GDKPs. Warrior was pretty fun. Warrior was pretty fun. Yeah.
Hit multiple targets.
Yep. Like, but seeding was dumb. Like, I mean, it literally was like Warlock was so dumb in TBC. And that's the problem. That's why SOD was so cool. That's why a TBC SOD would intrigue me. I don't want to go search for runes and shit again, though. Fuck that. Like I want to have that shit books on each trader as I level up. Like, I don't want to go search for that bullshit. Like, that was kind of like the downfall of SOD. Like, literally, if they just added the
I
new
think it was
moves
good.
it was good for some
You made
things.
another character. It sucked.
Well, okay. Why couldn't we have done half of the runes you just learn as your trader, and then the other half you find? You know what I mean? It was a lot to find them all. Like, and I know different hybrid classes wouldn't have to find them all. They only had to find a certain amount, but Jesus Christ. I mean, it was quite a bit, dude. It was quite a bit. And it was just like, yeah. And then they put out the thing where you could have all the runes a year late, or at least six months late. I mean, I would have eaten that shit up and made so many alts if they had done that at just 4 months prior to when they actually made the change. Like, everybody was already checked out. And what you have to understand is this type of game that takes so much time, once somebody checks out, they're out. Like, they're gone. Like, they ain't coming back. There would be coming back if they hadn't made things so hard. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like, this is
paying
the whole,
for it for 3 months, though.
This is the circle of WoW, and they fucked themselves over. You thought they were smart, but they aren't. It's a bummer, man. It's a bummer. But here we don't have a ton more time. Like, we do have to, like, this is not going to be your regular 3 to 4 hour Warcraft Reloaded podcast. So the ending segment here, what will bring us back? I'll give us 20 to 30 minutes. What will bring us back with Classic Plus? I'll start. It's definitely got to be. It's not just re-releasing Classic. For me, like that could be cool, but we already did that with SOD. I want you to take the ideas from SOD, and we need a graphics overhaul. But we do not want retail graphics. Keep that Care Bear shit to yourself. And Care Bears unite. Rainbows. You know, like, keep that shit to yourself. I'm going to pull up Unreal Engine. Wow. And there's been a ton of these that have popped up with AI, like big boobed girls. Yep, gotta have the big boobs, cleavage for sure. We want the men's pecs.
The higher level armor, the more cleavage it shows.
Exactly. And like,
well, it's magic armor. I mean,
no, I mean, honestly, like, armor doesn't really matter, but seriously, make characters sexy, both men and women. Do not make ugly characters. We don't want that in
make
movies.
Ugly characters too.
Have them be the bad guys, right?
I want to be a bad guy.
Oh, I want to be a hairnet. Wait a minute. But yeah, so give us like a hardcore, still cartoon graphics. Like, this one is I'm going to try to find some pictures here. I can kind of show. Like
Lube's
of
like, can I get
concept
5
art.
talent points all into cleavage?
Exactly.
I miss
Exactly.
playing with Lubes, man. That guy's so much fun.
Yeah, you want your fantasy characters to be sexy. Like, can you imagine? Like, I'm trying to think. Like, it's just do you want to look at ugly people? When you look at ugly people all day, do you want to do that, or do you want to look at your entertainment and be entertained?
Okay,
Like,
so yeah, but that's what you want. But if I'm playing a fantasy game, I want to log in and see people that look like lizards. I want to see,
well, yeah.
big tall giants. I want to see, bear people.
Yeah,
I
here.
want to see Care Bears.
How can I put this? I can't put this. Trying to see how I can put this.
I want more
On
polygons
screen.
on my Torin's abs.
Oh, here. Okay. Go to YouTube. All right. Pause. All right. How do I put this on? Sorry, guys. Bear with us.
You can share your screen, right?
Yeah, but sometimes the audio doesn't come through.
Mm.
Chrome tab. Hold on. Maybe I can do this. What is this? YouTube. Nope, that's music. All right. Also share audio. See if you guys can hear this. Okay, now it just won't work.
I can hear it now working.
Okay. There. Can you hear it?
Yeah, we can hear it.
Nice. This is the type of graphics that would bring me back in. Maybe even a little darker.
It's on the right path.
But like that's the type of thing I'm looking for. Not the orcs bouncing as they run. You know what I mean? Like they do in retail.
Have you ever heard this music before, Bob? I know you always play with your music off.
No. Yeah, I don't know this music. But look at that. Like look at all like that looks sick. Like that is something I would be willing to come back with and just be ready. Like WoW needs to reset. You can leave the retail people in. Like they can still keep all of their stuff. You just don't develop it anymore. Like, or give it the classic. No, don't give it the classic team, but give it the size of the classic team and let them like do whatever. Yeah. No flying mouse like this though, so we're gonna stop this now. Yeah. No like
Flying Mountain Azeroth.
that's the one thing they did right with the dragon patch. Like they basically stole Guild Wars basically flying mount mechanics. Like dragon riding was the shit. Like that was awesome. And that's how flying should have always been. It should have been something where you can't stay up long and you can't like do it forever and you can't just float. Like you're like, can you imagine the guys that go AFK for like 2 hours and their poor mount is just flapping in the air the entire time? Like, motherfucker, let me down.
I would log out.
I need some water, asshole. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's so dumb. It takes you out of it. Like, it's just dumb. Like, the dragon riding was actually unbelievable and a huge win for the retail team. And that's what writing should have always been, but they didn't have the tech to do it prior. So I don't know. That's where I'm at. What would bring you guys back to a classic plus? Like, and nothing's off the table. Like, what do you want? What would bring you back?
A Care Bear class. I would be
Care
down.
Bears Unite.
Yep.
Chests out.
They would have special abilities coming out of their bellies.
Which bear would you be? Are you a Funshine or a Cheer Bear?
One.
How do you know the names? Holy shit.
Those are the only two I know.
Okay.
Wow.
I don't know the green one.
I think the green one had like a lucky charm or something on it, but for me it would be.
Were they magically delicious?
It would be a different symbol.
All right, serious though. What would bring you back?
Honestly, if you were like, "Hey, man, come play this and it'll be fun." I'm not going to.
What would make it fun though? Like, because so what made WoW Classic fun for you?
Well, for me, the leveling was fun. I liked the grind of the leveling. That was fun. I liked to go out and do things, but I wasn't looking forward to. I didn't like raiding. If you remember back in the day, I didn't raid at all. It was all PvP for me. If PvP was a big thing, then like the group, then everybody wants to go and do a raid because they're gonna get this gear, and then everybody gets stuck into raiding, and it's like nobody wants to PvP anymore, and Mel won't come heal. Like,
yep. But finding a healer was rough.
If PvP was a big draw and people were into it, it's just the group of people that I usually end up playing with. You guys usually focus on the rating.
Well, I literally, when I started World of Warcraft, I was like, PvP. And then I got to max level before most. I was like, I think on Burning Legion, I think I was the second mage to level 60 when the game first came out.
Took so long.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure I was the second mage to hit level 60 on Burning Legion back in it was either 2004 or it hit 2005. I'm not sure, but yeah, I was like, all right, now it's time to PvP, and then all of a sudden I found out, wait, I have to raid. What? Like, and then my guild master's like, hey. We have no mages. We really need you to get tuned for Molten Core. And I was like, tuned? What? I want a PvP, dude. What are you talking about? And I was like, it was so bizarre to me. I was just like, huh? Like, I came from Ultima Online where like PvP was God. Like, you were a PK or you were an anti-PK, and you were like, it was kill or be killed, and you looted people's shit when they freaking died. Like, and then I come to World of Warcraft, and I'm like, wait, I have to do what? To get the best gear, I have to raid? And then I started raiding, and I did like it, but I was just like, huh? Like, this is World of Warcraft. Like, I want to go to war. Not go to kill like fake. It was definitely weird, but yeah, I think that that could be. So Star Wars: The Old Republic had a lot of problems, right? But they had one of the coolest PvP games to ever exist in an MMO, and it was called Huttball. And Huttball was amazing. It was basically, you would use different people's strengths and weaknesses. Like, some types of Jedi could like super jump, and some were very tanky, and some, so you'd have a ball carrier that was very tanky, but he could throw it to to one of the guys that was faster, then he could jump over and then throw it to another tanky guy. And it was a lot of strategy, and it was really cool. Like that was one of the coolest PvP games I have ever played in an MMO. So like better PvP could be cool too. But problem is, if you just take classic WoW, PvP is dumb. And then so many people said SOD PvP was dumb, but every phase was pretty awesome. And I played multiple characters. So I'm sorry, you're objectively wrong or just unable to learn how your new class worked, because
It was fun.
it was awesome. It was there were strengths and weaknesses. There were definitely some classes you couldn't take, but there was so much strategy and it was freaking awesome. So I'm sorry if you didn't understand it, but it was great. And it wasn't hard like the raids were. It would have taken you little time to figure out
The strategy.
And, yeah. Like Buck didn't have time to do all that. He couldn't look up how to do all the raid stuff, but he kicked ass in PvP, and
You gotta know where to be. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, Buck could steal a flag. That's for sure. In the middle of a war, he could.
I
be
know,
there
man.
spinning that motherfucker.
I'm like, I don't think anybody's here. I'm gonna do this real quick.
Yeah, and it's just, and that killed me about SOD too. Like everybody was like, dude, PvP is just broken. It's horrible, because they got blasted by one really good PvPer. They're like, oh, warlocks are broken. I mean,
But
it's just
those meta warlocks were kind of fucked up.
all right. So, Kef, what would bring you back for Classic WoW? Classic Plus.
Definitely a graphical overhaul would be really nice. I would love to rogue tank again, but I would understand if they don't do that again. But some quality of life stuff too. Like, I don't want to leave stealth for using sap. That's fucking crazy. Like, they got rid of that after, like, right into TBC. So,
Yep.
I don't want to deal with that shit. I want the stuff they gave us in SOD. Like, I want dual spec for sure. Because I want to be able to rogue tank and PvP without spending 50 gold every time.
And honestly, in this new creation, we don't need world buffs. The reason we need world buffs in Classic WoW is because the game's already been broken and it's old. World buffs make it fun and more exciting. We don't need it, though, in a new version.
Yeah, like anything that removes like friction from being able to go into a raid, like being geared is one thing, but having to collect all those buffs, I don't know, anything that just makes it more accessible without like making it feel like a Nerf ball, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. And just, I mean, honestly, a Classic Plus, if I'm being honest.
Oh, in Arena and Classic. Sorry.
I don't even need it to be an MMO. And I've kind of said this before different times. I'd be fine with a Oblivion, Skyrim type of World of Warcraft game. Just give us 4-person multiplayer. Like that could be fun. And then give us 4-person, PvP options. Like if you don't want to go big scale, right? You want to like try something to like ease into it. That would be a huge option that I would eat up,
I think Classic Plus has to be an MMO, but I'm 100% down for like a console style World of Warcraft game, or just a Warcraft game where you do make your character just like, like you said, like a Skyrim type game. I would eat that shit up.
Yeah. And you could still, I mean, do it like Sea of Thieves. You know what I mean? Like Sea of Thieves is pretty cool. Like the way you can do PvP and like that's Like that's fun, and anybody can jump in and jump out. Like they're like, no matter how much money you pay, there's no buff to how good you are at combat. Like that's all skill. There's just cool shit you can wear. Like, and that's basically like what it is. Like the problem with WoW is WoW. Yeah, but it was deep, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's just
I'm still
like
trying to comprehend the whole meaning of the word.
The
wow.
whole reason we haven't had this pod for months is because once you take 3 weeks off, you're done. And then, yeah, if a new server opens up, maybe you jump back in, maybe you find some friends, maybe not. But either way, then you're back on the clock, and all of a sudden you feel like, you're making excuses to your girlfriend or your boyfriend, or you're like, yeah, but I have to do this tonight. I mean, they're all counting on me, man. And it's just it's a lot. And in this day and age, if you want to get the younger people in, like there ain't no way. They're like, I'm gonna go play Fortnite. I'm gonna go play Fortnite.
I'm gonna rock some bitches. We're gonna kick some ass.
Yeah. I remember anytime somebody wanted to do anything, and they suggested a Wednesday or Thursday night. I just was like, no, every time. Like I was like, nope, that's raid day. Like not negotiable. Then after I stopped playing WoW, if I didn't want to go to the thing, I would just pretend I was still playing WoW. Like, nope, I got something on that night.
And then you have to try to explain it to normies.
Oh yeah.
No, guys. Okay, just, imagine you're like in a like volleyball league for work, and if you don't show up, they forfeit the match. Does that make sense? Like, no,
And then nobody gets loot.
Yeah, it's just like they don't understand. Like, they're not real people. Yes, they are. They're just on the other side of the screen. They are real people. They have real feelings, and they really count on you. But it's on the internet. Yeah. I know it's on the internet, but they're real people. It's so hard to explain to normies, dude. It's so hard.
I've had to explain to like a boss why I couldn't pick up a shift back in like Classic, and I was like, no, man, there's this thing I do. I've got like this community, and there's like 39 of us, and like we'd have to reschedule for 39
It's
other people.
It's a volleyball league.
Can't do it. He's like, what is it? What? And then just end the conversation without getting into it.
Yep. And here, Stinky Farmer makes he basically, this is what's kept WoW alive throughout all of the bad expansions. Do you want to read a book?
Yeah, definitely just my friends that play that keep me coming back. Definitely not the game anymore.
And that's unfortunately the people making World of Warcraft haven't realized that this is the only thing keeping their players playing, is the fact that they don't want to lose friends. And that's a bad reason to keep playing. Like it's sorry, I should rephrase that. It's a good reason to keep playing, but it's bad for like people that aren't enjoying the changes. They're just like, well, I have to do it because I can't let my buds down, and that's what Buck was basically doing, like for the last few raids that he came. Mm-hmm. Same with Bayman, same with basically Michael-san. Like people were just coming because they didn't want to let us down, and they weren't enjoying the game. And that's what, Blizzard, fire a lot of people, please. Fire them. Hire people from all over the country. Stop hiring in LA. If you've seen the downfall of Hollywood, you understand why you should not hire in LA. It's the land of Narnia. Nobody understands the rest of the country. It's not it's not a good place to hire. Hire, like, lots of the stuff you don't even need them to live there. Hire them, let them work remote, but get people from other parts of the country, because the majority of the country is not LA. No. And also just
Makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say.
Did you ever watch The Remarkable Life of Ibelin?
No, I did not.
Okay.
That was the one that Ven said he cried at.
Yeah, man, it hits hard. And I watched that shit right before like we all quit too. And like after I watched it, I was like, I'm never letting my WoW friends go. I'm gonna keep them like nice and tight. And then I was like, guys, I gotta quit for my job. And then that was it. But you should watch it if it's still on Netflix. It's a very touching story about an RP guild in WoW and a guy. I'm not gonna give it away.
All right, well, that's the whole point. Like, you shouldn't stay just because, like, Blizzard should work harder to make the game the place that it needs to be. And
It's just not happening.
nope. But I hope that it does. And I hope that Classic Plus is a thing that is cool. But guys, don't give us SOD 2. No. Like, we need a change, and we want to be, if you have to, like, just keep retail there. Like, you guys have a fledgling amount of people still there. Classic WoW came out, and you guys, I know J. Allen Brack was at the head of the team at that point, and maybe didn't put things into gear fast, but guys, you all know this. Why don't you speak up in team meetings? You tripled, or sorry, yeah, tripled. Like, basically, you got 2 times what you had subscriber-wise when Classic WoW re-released in 2019. And that was an old, bad game. Like an old, like, not bad, but like an old game. This never happens. You went from 3 million subs to 9 in a day. Like, that should have been noticed for you. Like, oh crap, we need to hire people now. We need to get this going. Like, we need to fix what we screwed up way back in the day. And if you want to hear about what they screwed up, you can just listen to all the episodes prior to this, because there's a lot of information on that. Like, the whole expansion process to begin with was a bad idea. Like, making everything in the game prior to the expansion obsolete. Dumb on you. Like, that's the truth. Like,
I don't think it'll ever happen, but it'd be really cool if they did like a redo of Classic, and it just like starts off in a timeline way earlier. Like, Arthas is still just a human guy, or shit, maybe he's a kid. I don't know. Like, just maybe start us off in a much earlier time period and give us all new content that way. You won't have to change the world, just the characters in it and the quest lines.
Yeah.
That's how it works in my head.
that could be good. Yeah. I mean, basically, just the biggest thing is learn from what you screwed up prior. The majority of people love the world. Hardcore rating is for people that really can do that. Most people can't. Like, learn from that and make the biggest part of the game the world and not rating. And that will, I mean, that was Ultima on online, and it destroyed it. Like, it was still more popular than EverQuest. Like, and it was freaking top down. Like, it wasn't even close to what EverQuest was 3D, but it was still more popular. Like, Ultima Online only lost when WoW came out, and the majority of people didn't get to level 60, so they never even, and then also Raids didn't come out till like a year or two after it was out, like a year. And so, like, most of the people just thought playing the game was the game. And then when the raids came out, people started to quit because they're like, oh, I can't do this. So I guess I'll just peace out, So just learn from your mistakes, guys, and stop doing them over again. And bring back our toxic males. Gosh, dang it. I want some Jack Burton in here. What does Jack Burton say? The check is in the mail. I want some, some hardcore men here. Sweating bullets. Yeah.
We should mark that. And
do you smell what the Rock is cooking?
You said we need some hardcore men in here.
We do. All right. Well, I don't know. You guys have anything left? I feel like I've really been holding this in a long time. Thank you guys for letting me, get it out. But if you guys hadn't have been here, I don't think I could have done this. I think I would have went overboard.
It needed a little push. I said I would do the last episode with you like 2 months ago because
and
we
said it was
talking about it for a while.
We kept setting a time, and then every time I'd be like, yeah, I don't know. I don't feel tonight's a good. Yeah, I did know. Maybe we do it next week. The next week come like, yeah, maybe we do it next week. But I love this game, and I didn't want to shit on it, but like this last episode, I kind of have to because I want to bring Warcraft Reloaded back, but I'm not going to. If you're just gonna keep if you're just, Sod, dude, there was no reason for all the bugs that you guys had. There just wasn't. There's you can say you're sorry, you can say whatever you want. There was no fucking reason for it to happen, and it really took a lot of people out. There was a lot of people trying to do world first stuff. It was just there was no excuse.
I'm not going to hold that against them because I was never in that world first race. And I guess I don't want to sound ungrateful for the opportunity to play SOD. I still think it was one of the coolest things to experience going back through that world with all these new things. And
it was amazing. But when
I'm sure if you were in that top 1% trying to get world first, though, that's got to be real frustrating.
Or just a regular guild like us,
and trying to kill over
night, and then we're stuck, and then the raid breaks up because of it. There was the raids were made too hard, which I brought up prior. If the raids were easy, people would be like, oh yeah, I'll come back for 45 minutes tomorrow. Yeah, no problem. But they're like, oh, I'm not coming back for another 4 hours of wiping. Fuck that. You know what I mean? That's the problem. And that's WoW should have never made anything that tough for a huge group of people. It should have anything super tough should have been 3 to 5 person groups, period. And it never should have been better gear than what you get in a raid. That would have separated the men from the boys instead of the jobless from the jobs. That's the everybody could be a mythic raider. You could, I could, Buck could. if that was your 60-hour-a-week job, you could do it. We all could. It's
Sure.
not a extremely hard thing. It's just an extremely time-consuming thing. There's not one Mythic Raider now that only plays the raids. Not one. They're all working constantly like a freaking professional athlete to do it. And that's the problem. All right, well, I don't know. I don't have anything else to say. Do you guys have anything else to say?
No, I mean, I had fun, and thanks for inviting me to your last show, or at least your last show for a while.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
Thank you for coming.
Looking back and having, all the memories of playing with you guys and a bunch of the people. Casimo became a verb. Like, don't Casimo.
Yep.
It was
Yeah.
just, bye.
The Irish goodbye.
Yep.
Yep. Just
Yep. Yep.
Oh no,
Yep. He's gone.
Bob's gone.
Yep. Yep.
but yeah. Like the friends we made along the way. That was the hardest part of quitting, and I miss all of you so much. Like Cass, definitely miss you playing with you. Like I just miss talking with you guys at night, and like it got me through COVID. And WoW could be so amazing if they just pulled their heads out of their asses.
I've really enjoyed listening to the show, all throughout its run and all the guests you had on. I have to say, No Hit Jerome was probably one of the funniest every time he was on. I was always cracking up. Him talking about running through Warsong Gulch as the druid and how that makes it fun for everyone chasing the flag. He was a character. I always enjoyed when you had Scotty J on because he was just, that
he's
kind
so
of belligerent Englishman.
So
English,
fun.
right? But yeah,
Scotty
he was
J.
always a good time to listen
It's
to.
Scotty J coming to you on Warcraft Reloaded.
It was interesting whenever you had Josh on.
Mate. I
from
can't be
Countdown
bothered, mate.
to be able to hear you and Josh at the same time, because I feel like those were the two main that I listened to. Was interesting, like the crossover event.
Josh is still out. Dude, he's still doing
I listened to his last couple.
Dude, Countdown is great, man. Countdown is great. Yeah, dude. Josh is sexy. That accent. Oh, that chiseled face. Josh is sexy. I can understand why he's so popular.
Dad accent.
Oh, man. Well, all right. Well, Kef, where can we find you? Podcast and social.
Well, you can find me on the We Are Survivors podcast about The Last of Us TV show. I'm not on the game part, but those are good too with John and Bob. I am on X at Kef on X.
All right. And Buck, where can we find you?
You can find me at buckandbob.com. That's BUKNBOB.com. You can find me on X. It's at Buck_tastic. That's BUK_TASTIK.
And you can find me on X or Twitter, aka Twix, at Blazzin_Bob. That's BLAZZIN_BOB. All right, we're getting out of here. Guys, anybody that are my Buzz, Casimo, Salubaton, like Raspberrios,
Lubes.
any of you Lubes, any of you guys who've been in the chat, guys, you can message me on Discord. I'd love to hear from you. I'm bad at messaging other people, so message me. I'd love to chat. And until Classic Plus comes out, we don't know. But if it comes back and it comes back good, I will definitely be going. I'll definitely do an episode. Like, don't unsub, because we'll do an episode when I go to BlizzCon in 2016. So
2026, or you time traveling, Bob?
2026. Right. But I might be time traveling.
All
So
right.
definitely check back to 2016.
You can't prove that he's not.
It's true.
But yeah, as far as that, like, I don't think we're gonna have anything else. But I will be following, WoW Classic. I'll be listening to Countdown to Classic when it's not talking about MOP, because who the fuck cares? But yeah, I'll be checking it out. I'll be around. But for now, good night. And it's the most popular podcast I've ever done. But you have to end things when you're not into them anymore, or else it's just like shows that go on for seasons after they shouldn't. If you're not into it, it's going to be a bad show regardless. So I'm sorry, guys, that I'm ending the show. I know a lot of you have messaged me, but it's not going to be a good show. So hopefully they'll bring us back something that'll make a good show, and I'll be back then. Night, guys.
Casimo out.
Seacrest out.